Hey, welcome back guys to Musings of Mavry. I'm your host Mavry, and today we're going to be continuing The Promised Neverland, episode 7. Last episode we left on sort of a cliffhanger. It seems that Krone, the sister, has discovered who are the people, who are the kids who know of the whole situation, but now she is enticing them with a proposal of cooperation. So I'll get back to that on a little bit. But first of all, I also want to mention that I'm loving how they are actually doing everything one by one. They're completing the steps to ensure their escape from this farm. So if you guys have been watching this series, you'll remember back in episode 2, I basically listed a set of conditions and things that they need to, basically a checklist if you will. So things that they need to cross out or get handled before they can complete their escape plan. And in order of severity, they went like this. The first one is the tracking devices, right? Well, it seems that Norman is on his case, so that one, we still don't know how the mechanism works, how he's going to crack it, but at least it seems that they have a solution to that already. The second one, which I feel like is also an important thing, is they need to find a way to take the mom and the sister out of the picture. I kept on saying they need to at least try to think of whether they can kill them or incapacitate them in some way or another. Otherwise, with superior intelligence and strength and whatnot, they're not going to be able to escape with everybody together under those kinds of circumstances. They need to take them out of the picture. And I'm assuming that might go into play within this episode once we learn of Krone's proposal, the sister's proposal. Or it seems that Emma has also thought of a plan to circumvent this, although I'm still not sure what that is. I can't think of it yet. The third one is how are you going to get all these kids moving if they don't believe you? They would rather believe the mom, who is their guardian figure, right? Well, they've started to go around and recruit more people to their side. Don and Gilda joined last episode, and as the series progresses, they're gonna, once we reach a critical mass where enough of these, I guess, more older leaders of the children know of the situation, once we reach a critical mass, and they each only have to convince maybe 2 or 3 kids before they can all go at the same time, so they can convince everybody to come with them. So they made some progress on that part as well. The fourth one is they need to take stock of what exactly the escape route is. Like, are they going to go through the wall? Are they going to go through the gate? They seem to be fixated on the wall for right now, and apparently they're going to do some scouting, which was what they were going to do last episode. So maybe we'll also see a bit of that in this episode as well, if the sister does not stop them and turn them back. Finally, and maybe one of the most important things, is how they are going to survive with this many children under 6 in the wild, with presumably monsters all around them, right? So last episode, it was revealed that there seems to be at least some sort of human civilization on the outside that can represent a glimmer of hope for them. So once they do escape, there might be some safe lands, promised lands, that they can go to and where they can all live happily ever after. So one by one, we're starting to meet each of these criteria, and let's see in this episode if they are also going to check some more boxes off the list. So let's just jump into the episode. Alrighty, and let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Yep. And this adds another layer to all this plotting and scheming. Yep, so moms and sisters are all former children of the house. Alright, let me skip this real quick, and I'll see you guys in a second. And we are back. Oh, we're actually going to get some setting information. What? They have a bomb on them or something? Hmm. Okay. So that's why they can't kill them. But they can still incapacitate them in some way, right? Like knock them out, knock them unconscious. Alright, Emma, I know you're angry, but just shut up for now. Just shut up for now. Let Norman handle this. Yeah. You don't need to ask her right now. Yeah, you should just accept this for now. You guys can work out the details and scheme later. But I still don't get it. So what is this? What is Krone's plan, though? Like, I know she wants to take down Mom, but how is she planning to do that? Are they really not going to blame her if children escape? Yeah. You can't back out right now. Yeah. It makes sense. At least a temporary truce. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're both planning how to double cross each other. Ah, I love this. I love this. Hmm? Hmm? A book? A letter? What? Come on, don't jump scare us there. Like anything's gonna happen to them at this point. Ask about the outside world? But does she know? Oh? That is interesting. What does it look like? Hmm.
発信機があることは知ってたのね。ええ、ママに見せられて。でもその場所と壊し方がわからない。シスターは知ってる？ええ、場所は耳よ。左耳、この辺り。
Mm-hmm.
壊し方は知らないわ。でも壊すと通知される。そこにも、本部にも。
That would be expected.
取り出すしかないわ。もしくは切り落とすか。でも、ハウスにはろくな刃物がない。メスがあるわ。医療用メス。外へ出たら薬もない。出ていく時から出血や感染症のリスクまで負いたくない。医務室には薬も道具も備えてある。麻酔もね。まあ、5人くらいなら足りるでしょ。使い方も教えてあげる。
Okay, so in Corona's case, one important piece of information she doesn't know is that she doesn't know they want to take everyone with them.
大人の女性に年齢を聞くなんてと言いたいところだけど26よ。生まれも育ちもこのハウス。
Gracefield, not here. Plant 3.
ちなみにイザベラは31歳。そう記録で見たわ。
No.
外は見たことあるんでしょ？ないわ。あら、嘘でもあるって言うと思った？ないわよ。でも外に人間はいる。あなたたちの食料は上と私たちで作っている。でも服や道具は外から運んで。
Huh, really?
一度だけ本部で見たわ。その人間たちは奴らと対等だった。
So this is a mutual relationship?
そこに紛れなさい。じゃあ、シスターは鬼がいつからいるとか。鬼？ああ、奴らのことね。
Oh? Yeah. She probably doesn't know. Mm.
このハウスはどこにあるの？知らない。周辺のセキュリティは？それは知ってる。大したことないわ。 発信機に頼ってろくな人数配置してないし、巡回すらしていないはずよ。ありがとうございました。もういいの？はい。おやすみなさい。
I think you guys probably should have asked a little bit more stuff. Oh, that was a recording?
発信機の場所も壊し方も突き止めてたの。やるじゃない。なるほどね。いろいろとよくわかったわ。言葉だけじゃないのよ。情報。
It's your responses as well.
その場に立っているだけで情報の塊なの。態度、目線、瞬き、汗、仕草、動向。
Like right now.
すべてが相手を探るヒントなのよ。なのに、あなたたちと来たら耳にあるって分かったのに、触って確かに
Yep.
取り出せる段取りついたってのに、全然嬉しそうにしてないんだもの。ねえ、なぜわざわざ聞く必要のない発信機について聞いた。
Should you really be talking this loudly, Krone?
何か隠したい、内緒にしたいことでもあるのかしら。まあいいわ。あの方って知ってる？知らないわね。知りたいでしょう。
Him?
次来た時教えてあげる。またいつでも。
It can't be that.
今日よりも
Huh.
お貸ししましょう。
Dang, this sister is good. Oh? This is what he has? His new toy?
ママ。へえ、最初は何も映ってないんだ。最後の報酬がカメラね。写真で現象に興味があったんだ。写真もカメラも本でしか見たことなかったし、欲を言えば現像まで自分でしたかった。すごいな。本当に時間を切り取ったみたいだ。例の件だけど、昼飯の後でいい？ええ、いいわよ。
This. It doesn't really make sense. This is. I mean, the mom has to know that something is up with Ray. Because it doesn't make sense that Ray would just roll over and die and accept his fate, right? Human.
そろそろ頃合いかしら。
Are we ever gonna get to the wall?
確認するぞ。昼飯の後、自由時間に入ったら俺がママを引きつける。ノーマンとエマは塀に登って、
Okay.
ドンとギルダは外からハウス2階の南窓が見える位置にいろ。万一俺がママを引きつけられなかったら合図する。エマたちに伝えて速攻で下見中止させろ。
How?
結婚日までは6日だが、究極次の1月、俺の満期出荷まで2ヶ月半の時間がある。何かあれば下見は即中止。あくまで水面下、制御可能を装うんだ。よーし、鬼ごっこだ。レイ、ちょっといい？はあ？発信機壊せるをシスターに掴まれた。結婚日を早めたい。発信機はいつ壊せる？いきなり何？これで最後のパーツが揃った。
Really?
いつでも壊せる。 まさに諸刃の剣だね。僕らが発信機を壊して脱走するのが先か、それともシスターがこの物証を掴んで僕らを突き
How? Okay, I need to think. Apparently, I am not as smart as Norman and Ray.
ねえ、あの子たち、どうして知らないふりしたのかしら。本当は発信機の場所も壊し方も知ってるのに。そもそもどうやって知ったのかしら。
Oh.
っていうか、どうやって壊すの？専用の道具でも使うのかしら。まさかそういうの作ったの？ならそれが確たる証拠になったりする。だから恐れて嘘をついたり。だとしたらガサ入れね。今がチャンス。
So they prepared for that. I wonder what would happen if Mom caught her snooping around. Is this Phil?
ちょっと床のお掃除。
She's gonna find a secret trapdoor, but then they probably did some misdirection there. Nice. False info. Grandma. Okay. I wonder what kind of misdirection Ray did.
レイはなぜこれを知ってるの？イザベラでさえ本来知らないことなのに。
Hmm. Wait, she was promoted? Wait, what? Transferred? Discommissioned? Man, always with the cliffhangers. But if there's one good thing they're doing, they're doing a great job at actually. It's keeping you enticed enough that you want to watch the next episode. Let me digest this for a second, and I'll see you guys after the ending. Okay, so as expected, we have formed a sort of quasi-alliance with the sister Krone. That was to be expected. I mentioned this last episode. There's really no reason not to at least enter a sort of mutual cooperation for now. If you're smart about it, both sides know that they are eventually going to double cross each other, and they also know the other party is planning this. But at the same time, this benefits all of them. As Norman mentioned, there's really no need to make another enemy, and they can gather information as well. It works perfectly. So that was definitely, completely went as planned. And also, because they knew of this, because the sister knew of this already, that is why she brought up basically a sort of mutually assured destruction as the insurance for them collaborating, because they can destroy each other completely with the information on Rei, then they won't betray each other, at least for now. So this temporary alliance, although based on threat, still should be stable enough to last at least some time. And throughout this episode we can see that they are sisters, or they are moms for a reason, right? We've already suspected in the past that moms might have been prior children on these farms. In this episode it was confirmed, as well as they only choose the best and brightest out of a farm to eventually take on this role. So that means, sure, you guys are geniuses, but the moms and the sisters are probably every bit as much of a genius as they are. Actually, I believe they've already mentioned in episode 2, I believe, when Krone was talking with Isabella, that Isabella had one of the highest scores of the farm so far. So that was to be expected. We did get a lot of useful information as well, such as we finally know why we can't kill moms and sisters, because they have this device in their heart. But at the same time, I still think that trying to knock them unconscious or incapacitating them is still an integral part in making this plan succeed. Otherwise, as I mentioned numerous times, they're smart, they're athletic, you're not going to be able to beat them heads on. The part about the mutual cooperation was interesting as well, right? So this actually threw a complete new loop into what I thought was fairly straightforward, just human resistance pockets. So it turns out that there are humans on the outside world directly collaborating with these monsters / demons. This means that they now have to take another factor into account, and that is probably the ones that are collaborating with the demons, monsters. They want to maintain the status quo, and it might be for selfish or nefarious reasons, or they might have some very good reasons that they are doing this. So if you're going for the former part, then maybe they struck some kind of deal with these monsters and they want to keep their high status. So of course they're not going to want to allow these kids to escape. Or if the rabbit hole goes a little bit deeper, there might be a specific reason why humanity has to depend on this collaboration with these demons or monsters, right? It might not just directly be a intimidation by force. There might be some other reasons as well. Maybe since this series likes plot twists, there might be another big plot twist in regards to this relationship. But and at the very least, we now know that, okay, it's not just a matter of escaping. You need to find out which humans you can trust, which humans you cannot. Besides that part, so Rei also got his instant camera, right? And I've been thinking for the last, 15-20 minutes on how this can help Rei and the others get rid of the tracking device, but honestly, I have no clue. So the tracking device in this episode, we also learned some more attributes, and it turns out it's a little bit more trickier than I thought. Originally, I was thinking they might even be able to maybe just knock out the moms and sisters first, all escape, and then take care of the tracking devices on the way, if that was something that could be done. Or maybe they can just take care of the tracking devices first, and then they can move unimpeded within the farm as well. Now, apparently, now that we know once destroying the tracking device, it will send an alarm to headquarters, I'm really not sure what they're gonna do about this, right? I really have no clue how they are able to do this. My two guesses right now is either Ray is going to use the flash on the instant camera to do something, or he's going to use the chemicals that are used in developing the film in order to do something. But I really can't think of a theory right now, so if you guys have any good guesses, let me know. So that's the instant camera part, and then I guess we get to the end of the episode where Ray planted a note. By the way, I love that kind of stuff. And also the note from headquarters to Krone. So Ray's note, I have two theories about that right now. Number one is what he probably wrote on there is something that he discovered when he discovered the truth about the whole situation. Because remember, Krone said that even Isabella can't know about this. So maybe it's something related to the outside world that Ray discovered on his own, and which is why he eventually found out the truth. Maybe something related with that. The second part is actually this might also confirm something, and that is Isabella might have never been to another farm before, right? She might have only stayed at this farm for this whole time, because it seems that Krone knows a little bit more information than Isabella does, and that doesn't really make sense, right? Isabella is more senior, she's of higher position. How can she know that? Well, Krone apparently has, from her dialogue this episode, we know that she was from this, I guess, local area, but not on this specific farm. So the way that she mentioned it leads me to believe that maybe she is sort of like an exception in that she's moving around to different farms, whereas Isabella might have been here in this farm for her whole life. So those are two theories I have in regards to Ray's note, but I am dying to see what exactly is written on there. And the second part is the note to Krone from headquarters. Now the obvious answer would probably be something like she's being transferred to another place, so she's being sent to some other posting, right? But the way that Krone reacted to this news, I kind of feel like it's a bigger deal than just something simply as transferring to another farm. Because simply transferring to another farm, it's not that big of a deal if she can't become mom within this farm, right? Unless there's some sort of time limit to her. Otherwise, I don't see why she would need to be suddenly so distraught over this news. I'm actually thinking maybe the news is she's going to get demoted somehow, maybe move to another sort of position that is more unfavorable, or maybe she's even going to be decommissioned in a sort of way, like she can't handle these kinds of matters anymore. And personally, I would go for the latter theory first, rather than just simply being moved around. And I think this all ties back into mom, actually, into Isabella. Now, she has, again, I feel like she definitely knows more than she's letting on, and she has this all under control. Like, definitely this is something that she probably tried to do to get under Krone. Maybe I don't think she quite knows that Krone is directly in cahoots with the children yet, but definitely this is something that she orchestrated in order to remove Krone from the picture. And also, I don't buy for 1 second that she doesn't know Ray is up to something, because that does not make any logical sense, right? There's a saying that says a cornered animal is the most dangerous, and Ray, with his situation right now, he is cornered, right? He has less than a month to live, or 2 months to live, and it would make sense for him to want to try to stage an escape in some way, shape, or form. There's no way that Isabella cannot know of this possibility. And in fact, with Ray ordering so many different parts over these years, I also find it hard to believe that Isabella doesn't know that Ray is up to something, using the parts or the stuff that he has been requesting throughout all these years. Definitely, she is knowing more than she lets on. So, yeah, I think that about covers everything that I want to mention this episode. Oh, and also another appearance by Phil, the little kid. A commenter, actually, one of my viewers actually asked me in the last video what I thought about Phil. I did have this kind of theory going on in my head that maybe Phil was a part of the resistance in some way. He is in some way related to the outside human world, but I don't really have anything to base that on, so I can't really comment on that for now. Another thing is maybe he's just happening to be at the right place at the right time, so he's representing some sort of possibility or hope of the younger children. It could be just a metaphor using Phil as sort of the projection of all the younger children, which our protagonists originally deemed too young to actually be able to contribute or take care of themselves. So we still need to know a little bit more, but definitely keep an eye on Phil. I think one final note on that subject, actually. One final trump card that our protagonists have that I don't believe either mom or the sister knows about is they might not know the scale of the escape operation Emma and the others are trying to pull off. Because thinking about it from a logical standpoint, nobody would do something as illogical as trying to take all the children out at the same time, right? There's just too many things going against it. The odds are too low. If you think through it logically, as you know, everybody is presuming each other is thinking, that shouldn't happen. But it's just directly because of Emma's insistence, I guess. That throws in sort of chaos and an element of illogicalness into everything else. And I feel like this makes it a sort of hidden method to catch mom and the sister by surprise. They might not know the scale of things, so they are thinking of the wrong direction when they're trying to predict what our protagonists are trying to do. So I feel like this might come up sometime later as well. So that about covers it for this episode. Let me know if there's anything specific that I missed, or if you guys have any theories of your own. Yeah, again, I'm loving this so far. They're adding more layers, they're adding more schemes, they're plotting against each other. I just kind of hope that, I kind of want some more information or some more perspective from the mom's point of view, so that we can also kind of know like where each party stands at this current situation. Otherwise, there's a lot of things that we can only blindly guess from. In any case, that has been my review for episode 7 of The Promised Neverland. Looking forward to the next one, and I'll see you guys next time.